Boxing Truth here. I had to talk a little bit about Miguel Cotto. I don't talk much about Miguel Cotto because simply I don't have much interest in watching Miguel Cotto fight again, as do a lot of boxing fans and a lot of writers and people in the industry. They just have lost interest in Miguel Cotto, and Miguel Cotto is still trying to fulfill the last fight of his contract with Rock Nation, but Rock Nation must be hating themselves for signing that type of deal with Miguel Cotto without the quality pool of opponents out there in the boxing world to fulfill the very high guarantee that Rock Nation has promised Miguel Cotto for each of his fights. According to reports, is up to $15 million, the high guarantee that must be fulfilled for Miguel Cotto as part of his contract that he signed with Rock Nation. Now, Miguel Cotto has been looking for a while for a name opponent in order for him to get that type of guarantee for a fight. But right now, the pickings are slim. There's just no opponents out there. And according to Bob Arum, the reason why the fight with Marquez hasn't been made is because both guys are just demanding too much for a guaranteed purse. And considering the pay-per-view market has been taking a hit ever since Mayweather and Pacquiao, numbers have not been good. Numbers are down. So it's very risky to promise fighters very high guarantees, considering the pay-per-view market is not where it's at right now compared to past years. And there's just not many pay-per-view fights that can generate that type of money. And there's no guarantee that a Cotto Marquez fight will do big business. I mean, projected numbers will have to be around the range of 300,000. Pretty much the type of numbers Miguel Cotto does when he's not fighting a Canelo or a Pacquiao or a Mayweather. You have to go by numbers he's done without those type of names, and he hasn't had those type of pay-per-view numbers if he doesn't have a big name attached to his. So Miguel Cotto, he's looking to have one more fight in the junior middleweight division. However, there are no names in that division that can get him that type of high guarantee for his purse. The Charlo brothers are with Heyman. When has Rock Nation and Heyman ever done business? There's bad blood between the two parties. Jay-Z, Heyman, situation there. They haven't done business yet. It doesn't look like they're going to be doing any business in the near future, so that's out of the question. Arizona Lara is out of the question. Besides, these guys are not big enough drawing names. They don't have the market value. They don't have the name recognition to generate the type of numbers Miguel Cotto needs in order to satisfy his guaranteed purse money. So, Rock Nation and Miguel Cotto are hoping they can entice Canelo Alvarez to a rematch where that is the one fight perhaps they could maybe get the type of numbers that can generate the money for Cotto's purse. However, Oscar De La Hoya has shown little to no interest in a rematch with Miguel Cotto because he's had a bad experience in negotiating with Rock Nation, Miguel Cotto's promoter. They went through some bad terms, negotiations. It was a tough negotiation. Also, the issue with the WBC belt, Miguel Cotto vacating the title, also changing the terms of the deal. Since that fight, Golden Boy and Rock Nation have been in litigation over who is guaranteed what percentage of what that fight generated. And since Cotto vacated the belt, Golden Boy's been arguing for more of a 50-50 split of the revenues that was generated from Cotto and Canelo. So it's very doubtful that the rematch is going to happen between Canelo and Cotto. Besides, who's really that interested? I know there are some Cotto fanboys and some people that actually think that fight was close. I'm sorry, y'all. If y'all think that, you need glasses. That fight was not close. It's just my opinion. I saw what I saw. I saw a very one-sided fight. Cotto did try in some rounds. He did try hard. He fought well. He showed better conditioning. He showed that Freddie Roach actually made a little bit of a difference with his training regimen. But at the end of the day, Cotto was outgunned. His shots had no effect. They were not effective. There were no power behind his punches. Canelo landed the cleaner, crisper, more powerful blows. And that this is professional boxing. You got to go by the guy who does more damage. And the majority of the rounds, that was Canelo Alvarez. I thought he clearly won the fight. I thought the judges' scorecards were right on. 9-3, 10-2. That's the type of fight I saw. But boxing is subjective. People can never agree when it comes to a decision. That's why I always prefer knockouts at the top level. But it's very difficult for top level fighters to knock out other top level fighters. But Canelo should have knocked out Miguel Cotto. That was my only disappointment for Canelo in that fight. So I don't have to hear people actually say that fight was close or that Miguel Cotto actually won. I mean, damn. But it is what it is. But I really have no interest in Miguel Cotto. Miguel Cotto should just retire. I mean, fans have lost respect for Miguel Cotto, who's become one of the major divas of the sport. He had the respect in the beginning of his career. He was a promising fighter coming up, guided by Top Rank, was putting on good performances, had exciting fights, overcame adversity in a lot of his fights, was rocked, came back, received hometown stoppages, had good knockout wins, won world titles at 140, 3 divisions, but Miguel Cotto is fine with his career. He's going to be regarded as a Hall of Famer simply because the boxing media overrate his career. In my opinion, I have to really think really long and hard that Miguel Cotto is a Hall of Famer. I mean, just look at the resume. I'm not that impressed. He won 3 vacant titles, never unified. His best wins to this day is a one-eyed Margarito, a 36-year-old Shane Mosley that some people argue that it was a draw, and a one-legged Margarito who I heard didn't do 1 round of sparring prior to the fight against Miguel Cotto because he was so scared that he was going to hurt his knee, which was pretty much done by the time he stepped into the ring with Miguel Cotto that night. But, you know, pretty much everybody picked Maravilla, as did I. I thought Maravilla was going to trash Cotto, but, you know, there is an asterisk to that win because of Maravilla's conditioning and his you know, the way he was physically going into that fight. So it takes away a little bit of that win for Cotto. But that's Miguel Cotto's career. Those are his best wins. He never unified. He never won a lineal title except in the middleweight division when he beat Maravilla. We all know Gennady Golovkin was the best middleweight, as he never got his shot. Cotto ducked him, was willing to pay to duck him. $800,000 step-aside money. They got pissed off when the WBC charged him a $300,000 sanctioning fee. Hey, that was part of the deal. You want to duck your mandatory, you still got to pay your sanctioning fee. So, the only name out there for Miguel Cotto is the Marquez fight. But it's becoming very difficult to make because both guys want to get paid. And the pay-per-view market's not what it used to be. Marquez is used to getting $4 to $6 million paydays fighting Manny Pacquiao. And Miguel Cotto got a big payday for fighting Canelo and Mayweather, Pacquiao. He's received big paydays in his career as well. So they want to get paid if they're going to fight each other. But remains to be seen if that fight can get done. But is there really that much interest? Marquez hasn't fought in over 2 years. Will be fighting in a different weight class, perhaps beyond 147 pounds, against a naturally bigger man. Of course, Cotto would like to fight. He probably thinks it's easy work. But it's hard to see how Miguel's going to fight with that high guarantee. Maybe Rock Nation needs to go to Miguel's people and say, come and restructure this deal because there's just no opponents out there. That's why Miguel's been on the shelf. He was supposed to return in June, but he didn't want to fight Kell Brook. And I don't know if Kell Brook would have been suitable enough or a big enough name enough to get that guaranteed type money. So we'll see what happens with Miguel Cotto, but I think he should just retire. His career is intact. He'll be in the Hall of Fame, even though I would have to think long and hard about it. I'm not overly impressed with Miguel Cotto's career. He lost all of his big fights. The big fights he won, it's questionable. Like the Shane Mosley, Margarito had one eye in the second fight. Got a gift decision against Joshua Clottey. Never unified. Won 3 vacant titles. Beat a passive prime Shane Mosley. Receiving a hometown stoppage against DeMarcus Corley. Who would have knows what would have happened if had that fight not been stopped. But y'all let me know what y'all think. What y'all think about Miguel Cotto's career? Is he a Hall of Famer in your eyes? Do you think the Cotto-Canelo fight was close? Who you think he will fight next? Should he just retire and keep his legacy intact? This is Boxing Truth. I'm out.